Success is predictable. It's not luck, and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. Let's pause on that. Because discipline don't once changes little. Discipline don't daily changes everything. So the real question is not, can you work hard? The real question is, can you work hard again tomorrow? And the next day? And the next? Until the habit is stronger than the mood. That, my friend, is the unseen engine behind every dream fulfilled. Consistency. Most people know what to do. They've read the books. They've heard the seminars. They start with a spark, excited, energized, on fire. Day 1 looks perfect. Day 2 looks solid. Day 3, well, life shows up. And day 10, the dream is gone, buried beneath excuses. Why? Because motivation is a moment. Consistency is a muscle. And muscles only grow when you work theme every single day. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Remember that word. Practiced. Not pondered. Not promised. Practiced. Think of rain carving the Grand Canyon. 1 drop means nothing. But 10 million drops, falling without fail, shape stone. Your life works the same way. 1 workout won't build the body. 1 sales call won't build the business. 1 loving word won't build the marriage. But hundreds of workouts, thousands of calls, daily words of love. That's power. That's transformation. The miracle of the future is hidden in your daily routine. There's a hidden law in life. What you do consistently, you get inevitably. Eat poorly every day. See the result. Save wisely every month. See the result. Study an hour each dawn. See the result. Consistency compounds. It never stays neutral. So the real question is, are your daily choices compounding for you or against you? Here's the trap. People wait to feel like acting. But feelings change with the weather, the traffic, the comments online. We all must suffer one of 2 pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Feelings want comfort. Discipline wants growth. If you let feelings drive, you'll abandon the plan. If you let discipline drive, feelings will eventually follow because nothing feels better than results. Picture a locomotive, heavy, powerful, yet without rails, it goes nowhere. Your routine is the rail for your energy. Morning pages to clear the mind. Top of 3 priorities written before work begins. Non-negotiable workout at 6 a.m. Evening review of wins, lessons, and tomorrow's plan. When the rail is laid, you don't waste emotion deciding if you'll act. You simply decide how well you'll act. Want a practical starting point? Choose 1 small discipline that matters: reading 10 pages, meditating 5 minutes, calling 2 prospects. Promise yourself you won't miss a day for the next 30 days. Not 1. Day 12, you're tired, do it. Day 19, you're busy, do it. Day 26, the mood is low, do it. Because every time you keep the promise, you send a message to your mind. I'm a person who follows through. Break the promise, and the opposite message gets stamped on your identity. Here's a secret. We don't act consistent with who we are. We become consistent with what we do, repeatedly. You run daily, you start calling yourself a runner. You write daily, you start believing you're a writer. You sell daily, you start feeling like a salesperson. Identity is carved by action, not the other way around. So if you want a new identity, start a new consistency. Every kept promise adds a coin to the bank of self-respect. Every broken promise makes a withdrawal. One day the balance is so high, you'd never betray yourself again. Why? Because you value your own word too much. That's when consistency becomes effortless. Not because life is easy, but because you become bigger than your obstacles. Don't join an easy crowd. You won't grow. Go where the expectations and the demands to perform are high. Make consistency your demanding friend. Let it push you. Let it stretch you. Force yourself, yes. Force yourself to honor the schedule after the excitement fades. Because one day the schedule won't feel like a cage. It will feel like freedom. Freedom from procrastination. freedom from regret, freedom to create the life you really want. This is the beginning. We don't get paid for activity. We get paid for productivity, and productivity demands consistency. But let me tell you, you don't lose consistency because you're lazy. No, not usually. You lose consistency because of what's going on inside you. That's right. If you're not consistent, the problem isn't your calendar. It's your emotions. The truth? There are emotional barrier silent enemies that show up every time you try to build a new habit, chase a dream, or stay on course. If you don't learn to recognize and break through them, they will rob you of your momentum. So let's talk about the 5 biggest emotional barriers that destroy consistency and how to beat each one. You start a plan. You begin with fire. Then it whispers, what if this doesn't work? What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail again? That whisper of doubt steals your discipline. It makes every action feel heavy. Suddenly, the reps feel pointless. The journaling feels silly. The calls feel useless. You stop, not because you're tired, but because your belief is broken. So what's the cure? Proof. Doubt flees when you create evidence. You don't need to believe the entire future. You just need to believe in the next step and take it. Make the call. Finish the workout. Write the page. Then repeat. Every small act of consistency builds belief. Affirmation without discipline is the beginning of delusion. So affirm, yes, but prove it to yourself. Prove it daily. That's how doubt loses power. Let me be honest. When the goal is big, it often feels heavy. You think, I have so far to go. It's too much. I can't do all of this. Overwhelm doesn't kill your dream, it kills your next step. It freezes you. And a frozen person is not a consistent person. So what's the cure? Break it down. Don't let your learning lead to knowledge. Let your learning lead to action. If your goal is to write a book, don't write a book. Write 1 page a day. If your goal is to get in shape and lose 40 pounds, walk 30 minutes today. Consistency comes from simplicity. Make the next action so small, you can't talk yourself out of it. This one's sneaky. You skip a day and suddenly the streak is broken. You don't have the perfect time, the perfect tools, the perfect energy, so you don't start at all. But listen carefully. Perfection is not the goal, progress is. Don't let the best be the enemy of the better. Consistency doesn't require perfect days. It requires showing up imperfectly, but showing up anyway. Miss the morning routine? Do it at night. Couldn't write 1,000 words? Write 100. Too tired for a workout? Stretch for 10 minutes. You didn't break the habit. You adjusted it. Because adjusted consistency beats abandoned perfection every time. Ah, yes. The thief of time. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's often fear in disguise. Fear of failure. Fear of discomfort. Fear of not doing it right. So you put it off. And the longer you wait, the heavier it feels. The solution? The 5-minute rule. Commit to working on your task for just 5 minutes. Discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. 5 minutes of discipline can break a 3-day slump. Start the task, not finish it. Not perfect, just start. Momentum will do the rest. This one hurts the most. You've been consistent and nothing's happening. No results, no praise, no proof that it's working. That's when people give up. But listen, every seed takes time to sprout. The growth is invisible at first. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. So ask yourself, am I still pointed in the right direction? If the answer is yes, keep going. Keep showing up. Keep watering the seed. The harvest will come, but only to the one who stays in the field. Consistency is an emotional battle before it's ever a physical one. You don't just conquer the calendar. You conquer the feelings trying to knock you off it. Conquer doubt with small wins. Conquer overwhelm with tiny steps. Conquer perfectionism with messy action. Conquer procrastination with short bursts. Conquer discouragement with faith in the process. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. That's where emotional strength lives. That's how consistency sticks. And the more emotionally mature you become, the more consistent you become. And the more consistent you are, the more inevitable your success becomes. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Quitting always sounds easiest when you're tired. When results are slow, when no one is cheering you on, when you're putting in the work but nothing is showing yet. That's when the mind starts whispering, "Why are you doing this? Is it even worth it?" You could quit today, no one would notice. And that's exactly when consistency matters the most. Because friend, anyone can be consistent when it's easy. But the ones who win, the ones who finish, the ones who get the reward, are those who stay the course, especially when quitting feels like a relief. We all begin with a spark, a vision, a dream, a goal, something we sow even if no one else saw it. But over time, life gets noisy. We forget. So let me ask you, why did you begin this journey? What did you want to fix, build, or change? What pain were you trying to escape, or what future were you chasing? Bring that reason back into focus. Because when the feeling to quit rises, it will always try to overpower the reason you began. So your reason better be strong. Strong enough to say, number, we keep going. When the promise is clear, the price is easy. Get the promise clear again. And you'll keep going when others stop. Now this is important. The pain of discipline is far less than the pain of regret. Your mood says, "I don't feel like doing this." Your mission says, "I don't care how you feel. We have a direction." You can't let your feelings run your future. Because moods are temporary, but missions are lasting. You must train yourself to work while you wait, to walk when you can't run, to keep going, even if it's slower than before. Discipline yourself to do what's required, especially when it's not exciting. That's consistency. You know what breaks people? Not the hard work, not the challenge. What breaks people is the debate. Should I work out today? Should I study now or later? Do I have time? You don't need more motivation. You need fewer decisions. Make the habit non-negotiable. Take the option off the table. If it's Monday and you run, then you run. If you write every day, then write. Whether you're motivated or not. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. So make it simple. Make it daily. And make it non-negotiable. Every time you do the thing you didn't feel like doing, you build evidence. Evidence that you're disciplined. That you can be trusted. That you finish what you start. But when you skip, when you let feelings win, you build excuses. Excuses become patterns. And patterns become identity. So what are you building? Even doing 5 push-ups when you feel like quitting. Even writing just 1 paragraph. Even showing up for 10 minutes. That's a win. Because consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means you keep showing up. And over time, those little wins, they add up to big breakthroughs. Now, let's be wise. Sometimes what you need isn't to quit. It's to rest. Take a walk. Turn off the noise. Get a good night's sleep. Step back not to give up, but to gain perspective. It's not what happens that determines your future. It's what you do about what happens. Rest is a strategy. Quitting is surrender. Rest to recover, not retreat. Then, get back to the plan. Because the moment you re-engage after rest, you're stronger. You're clearer. You're back on track. Here's the beautiful part. Every time you stick to the plan when you feel like quitting, you become a new person. You start to believe in yourself again. Not because of hype, but because of evidence. That's real confidence. Confidence isn't a feeling you wait for. It's something you earn from doing the work, even when it's hard. We must all suffer one of 2 pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Choose discipline, even when it's hard, even when it's slow, especially when you feel like quitting. If I could sum it all up in one line, it would be this. Don't stop just because it got tough. Stop only when it's done. Anyone can start. But the person who becomes unstoppable is the one who finishes. So next time the feeling comes to quit, remember why you started? Silence the debate. Take the smallest possible step. Rest if needed, but do not quit. And keep proving to yourself, I'm the person who follows through. Because if you can do that long enough, success is no longer a matter of if. It's only a matter of when. You can't perform in a way that's inconsistent with how you see yourself. Now that's a truth worth sitting with. Because here's what happens to most people. They try to stay consistent. They do it for a few days, maybe even a few weeks. But deep down, they still don't believe they're the kind of person who follows through. That's why it doesn't stick. You can't change your behavior for long until you change your identity. And the bridge between where you are and who you want to become, it's built with repetition. Let's start here. What you do daily, you eventually believe. Do something enough times, and it becomes a story you tell yourself. If you write every day, you start to say, I'm a writer. If you exercise daily, you believe, I'm disciplined. If you read and study often, you think, I'm a learner. Identity is not something you're born with. It's something you build, and every repeated action is a brick. So if you want to become someone consistent, you don't need a new personality. You need a new pattern. Here's the key. Confidence comes from discipline. And discipline is developed by doing it again and again and again. The more you show up, the more you build proof. And that proof, it reshapes the way you see yourself. You stop saying things like, I'm lazy. I always quit. I'm not a morning person. And you start saying, I'm reliable. I'm consistent. I'm in control. Because now it's not a wish. It's reality. You've become that person through action. Let me explain something powerful. You don't become confident by telling yourself affirmations in the mirror. You become confident by doing what you said you'd do repeatedly. You don't become disciplined by reading about it. You become disciplined by building routines that don't ask your mood for permission. Every time you do what you promised, especially when you didn't feel like it, you reinforce the message. I'm the kind of person who does hard things. That message, repeated enough times, changes you from the inside out. You cannot make progress without making decisions. And deciding to show up day after day builds something stronger than motivation. Character. So let me ask you, what small act could you repeat for 30 days to reshape your identity? What routine, if done daily, would make you proud of who you're becoming? It could be 10 minutes of reading, 15 minutes of journaling, a short daily walk, waking up at 5:30 without hitting snooze. Small, repeatable, identity shaping. That's the goal. You're not stuck. You're just practiced. If you've been inconsistent, it's not who you are. It's just what you've repeated. So start a new cycle. Start small. Repeat often. Show up for 5 minutes today. Tomorrow, show up again. Then again. And in 30 days, you won't just have a streak. You'll have a new story. Be careful with words like, I've always been like this. That's just who I am. I'm not built that way. Don't join an easy crowd. Go where the expectations and the demands to perform are high. That includes your own expectations of yourself. Don't label yourself based on the past. Label yourself based on the pattern you're building today. You're not lazy, you're learning consistency. You're not undisciplined, you're practicing follow through. You're not a quitter, you're becoming a finisher. Words shape your world. So speak to yourself with the voice of someone becoming stronger every day. Here's what it all comes down to. If you want to become someone consistent, you must repeat acts of consistency. That's it. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be dramatic. You just need to be daily. Because repetition rewires belief. Belief shifts identity, and identity fuels long-term action. So choose a pattern. Stick with it. Let it reintroduce you to yourself. Because the moment you truly believe, that you are someone who finishes what you start, everything changes. Don't leave the scene of good intention without taking action. We all start with good intentions. We all start with energy. We all start with excitement. But very few finish. Why? Because finishing is hard. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. And most of the Timino ones watching But here's the truth. The world rewards finishers, not the starters, not the dreamers, not the people who almost made it. Finishing is what separates potential from power. And the good news? Finishing is a skill. It can be learned, practiced, and mastered. And when you become someone who finishes what they start, you become someone the world can count on. And more importantly, someone you can count on. Let's clear this up first. You will rarely feel like finishing. The beginning is fun. The middle is messy. But the finish line is quiet. You won't always feel motivated. You won't always feel ready. But finishing doesn't need your feelings. It needs your decision. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. You decide. No matter how slow it feels, I will finish. No matter how boring it becomes, I will finish. No matter who doubts me, forgets me, or misunderstands me, I will finish. And when you build a habit of finishing, your confidence grows. Why? Because your brain learns, when I say I'll do something, I do it. And that, friend, is power. You don't need to finish big things at first. Start small. Finish the book you've been meaning to read. Finish the 30-day challenge you started. Finish the journal you keep skipping. Finish the week exactly how you planned it on Monday. Because every time you finish something, anything, you reinforce a message. I'm not someone who quits. I'm someone who completes. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the fundamentals. And one of those fundamentals is completion. Don't abandon the middle. Don't let the halfway point become your identity. Push through the resistance. Complete the cycle. Train your brain to expect the finish line. Most people quit when they're 95% done, not when it's hard, when it's almost finished. They say, I'll finish later. I already got most of it done. It's good enough. That last 5%, that's where character is built. That's where pride is earned. That's where transformation happens. Finish what you start. That's what builds credibility with others and with yourself. So, if you've been close to finishing something, go finish it. Even if it's been sitting for weeks. Even if it's not perfect. Even if it doesn't matter to anyone but you. Because that final step builds internal momentum. One reason people don't finish is because the goal is too big. It's not that you're weak. It's that your goal has no finish line in sight. So, what do? Shrink the target. Make it winnable. Don't write a book. Write 500 words today. Don't get fit. Do a 30-minute workout today. Don't change your life. Keep your morning routine just for today. Completion breeds momentum. Momentum creates belief. Belief creates consistency. And consistency, that's the road to your dreams. You don't become a finisher by waiting for the perfect day. You become a finisher by setting a personal standard. When the promise is clear, the price is easy. So ask yourself, what's the bare minimum I commit to every day? What's my non-negotiable, no excuse standard? What's the identity I want to prove again and again? Then live it, even when you're tired, even when no one's watching, even when the reward isn't instant. Your standard will carry you when your mood won't. Think of finishing like a muscle. You don't build muscle by thinking about the gym. You build muscle by showing up even for short sessions. So every day, ask, what can I complete today? It doesn't have to be flashy. Cross off that to-do list. Follow through on that promise. Hit submit on that project. The finish muscle only gets stronger when you train it. And the more you train it, the more it becomes part of who you are. Success is not to be pursued. It is to be attracted by the person you become. Become a finisher, and success will find you. So here's the truth, plain and simple. Starting is easy. Quitting is tempting. But finishing, that's where the magic is. If you want to separate yourself from 95% of people, finish. If you want to build unstoppable confidence, finish. If you want to trust yourself again, finish. Don't let projects pile up. Don't let promises expire. Don't let your old self win. Be the kind of person who closes the gap, who keeps going when the feeling is gone. Who chooses discipline over delay? Because when you become the person who finishes what they start, you won't just be respected. You'll be changed. And success won't be a question. It will be a consequence. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. It is the natural result of consistently applying the fundamentals. And that's what this was all about. Consistency, not perfection, not bursts of energy, not waiting for motivation, but the daily decision to show up, to do the work, to keep the promise, even when it's boring, even when it's quiet, even when no one's clapping. You see, life doesn't reward what you start. It rewards what you finish. So as you walk away from this message, ask yourself, what's one small habit I can stay loyal to? What would my life look like if I stayed consistent for 6 months? Who would I become if I refused to quit? Let today be the day you decide. I will no longer let emotions, moods, or excuses lead my life. I will let my discipline lead. Because if you can force yourself to stay consistent, you won't just change your habits. You'll change your identity. You'll change your future. So now the question is, will you finish what you started? You already know the answer. Now go prove it with action.